Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching this. Appreciate the support, cuzzies. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Follow me on X, the iChart Daily, all for the latest and greatest. This is not financial advice, cuzzies, but I am giving you a window to my thought process and what I think is playing out on Bitcoin. And the reason why my opinions matter more than others is because I'm backing it up with technical analysis data. My opinion does not matter. I've also been in the game since about like here. So I got about like 10 years in the game. I've experienced multiple cycles, happenings. I understand the coin's up 4 points out a million%. Yada. My goal here is to teach you basic technical analysis skills, basic to amateur, right? Just to understand maybe where to take some profit, where's the best time to buy, where's the best time to sell. But in today's video, I'm going to be going into a little bit more advanced, giving you really all of my thoughts down to the nitty gritty. Today is December 7th. It's 8 o'clock at night here. You're probably going to get this video around like 9:30. No edits, no nothing, one take. Everybody knows the deal. Here we go. I've been saying for a while, I like what I've been seeing on Bitcoin forming its bottom around 80 to 85,000. If it stays there, while the indicators form hidden bullish divergence, that is a very good sign that the blood has stopped and we're going sideways and have a probability of going to the upside. So, first thing I do is I look at long-term charts, longer time frames, weekly to the monthly, to see major liquidity levels, what's going on with moving averages and stuff like that. The first thing I see here is major liquidity being around like 102 to the wicks of 110,000 on the monthly, right? Second thing that I like is that the RSI is below the moving average but has stopped above the 50 line. So that tells me that we're not breaking 80,000. Secondly, we are way below the moving average, right? So let's go through my thought process. We're below the moving average, which is not good. We've broken down, which is also not good. But you have to understand that when you have this much blood, you're definitely going to have dead cat bounces. And what I'm assuming is we're going to have this dead cat bounce, a major dead cat bounce, just because we're so oversold, right? 126 to 80 something thousand, that we could 100% come up, use the moving average as resistance, form a lower high to the 69.45, this last high here, and still remain in a downtrend. Okay, so that's the monthly. And what do I mean by that is we could have a good December and January leading into February and March. And once again, I do think by March we will be seeing more blood. That's just the way the cycle is. March, tax season, etc., etc. Let's go into the 3 week, we go to the 2 week, we go to the 1 week. So, over the past couple of days, let's just say a week, I've been telling everyone on Altcoin Buzz over here that I like what I'm seeing. It's forming bottoms. And people freak out when they have red days, but this is why you need to understand the chart. We've been forming higher lows since the 80,000, then we went to 84,000. Now we're at 88,000, and while we're doing that the whole time since here, since about the 17th to the 24th of November around Thanksgiving, your stochastic RSI golden cross. Now we're below the 20, we're below the 50 on the RSI, and we're below the 0. So I am not expecting us to go back to 125 and higher. And this is what I mean when I say take your hand, cover the name of the coin or stock or commodity that you're charting, and just trust charts over people. That's what that means, okay? And what I mean by that is I made an indicator that has an 11 and 21 day moving average and shows you when it's white or purple or whatever colors you choose, when the RSI is above or below the 50. As long as we stay below the 50, we will use the 11 and 21 day as resistance, as you can see here. So we do have a move. We have a move back to 96 to 99,000, with maybe some wicks back to the 102, back to these levels right there, excuse me, and maybe you could see a little wick above, like I said, to that 106, 107. But once again, and I posted this on Twitter the other day, showing everyone this picture that, like, if we form anything lower anything lower to the 125, that is a head and shoulders on the longer time frame. Like this wave, my friends, took from September 2nd all the way till April 7th, right? This was from April all the way till December. So we could go from December all the way till March, April, and then we need to see if we break this neckline here. Now, shorter time frames, though, I do like what I'm seeing, and the dead cat bounce is forming. Let's break into it. So, for the past couple days, I've been telling a lot of the groups that I'm in, you can't panic because number one, confirmations haven't happened. Your MACD still remains in an uptrend. Can't deny that, right? Yes, the blue line, shorter time frame, is above the yellow line. Correct. Your RSI, is it above or below the moving average? It's above the moving average, right? You could see this is below, swoop, this is above. Now, you could also see that the lows have made higher lows each time. And I just told all the people at Altcoin Buzz, all of the Discord, all the groups I'm in, all my friends, I'm setting an alert. The 50 line on the 1-day RSI notifying me that we officially are breaking and staying above the 91 to the 93,000, which lines up with the 11 and 21-day moving average. Another thing that I like on the daily is we came down, but once again, you want to see confirmations. We came down, now we're having a golden cross. I'm setting an alert here at the 80 line on the daily stochastic RSI, notifying me that we're going back into section A+, which is the best case scenario that you want your stochastic RSI to be in. So if we have bullish scenario confirmation for the RSI above the 50, if we have bullish confirmation on the stochastic RSI above the 80, and we have a bullish confirmation on the MACD, which still remains in a golden cross structure, and volume is now coming back up, right? We were going up, we were coming down, and now we need to see how tomorrow is. Also, tomorrow is Monday. I'm from New York. New York matters. It's just the way it is. We got Wall Street here, cuzzy. And, you know, if we continue to break and stay above, I could see by 9:30, 10 o'clock, then maybe we have a nice move up. So now, I do have to make a video about multi-time frame understanding and understanding when to expect the move. Okay, so these are trailing indicators. So when you see it playing out like the death cross, golden cross, and confirmations, it's already kind of happening in the price, right? The price needs to print and move in order for the lines to move, in a nutshell. So what you need to do is look at the time frames where it's just about to happen to understand how much time you have left in the move. So you could see, well, let's break it down first what I like. So I told you what I liked in the daily, right? Blah, 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 above, where it said alerts. Now the 2-day, right? Now I go to the 2-day to understand what's going to happen in the next 22 hours and 34 minutes. What I like first of all is what happened in the RSI. What happened in the RSI is called a confirmation. So we were above, boop, right there below, right? Right here we're below. We're using it as resistance, 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 resistance. Right here we're above. And what happened was over the weekend we had what? We had blood. But we stayed above certain levels and we stayed above the moving average. So going from here to here and now stopping at this imaginary line right here shows me that we are now officially above the moving average, and we have what? The first thing you should think is we have room to grow, at least room to grow back to the 50. Now, to understand that we go back to the 50, visually that means we could go back to the 21-day moving average, lining up with around 94 to potentially 96, 2000. What I do then is I look left to see if there's any zones left that make sense with those numbers, and you can see this liquidity grab from the 96.8 to potentially the 93.4. So now also let's go over the other confirmations. Delete these just to give you a better visual. MACD remains in a golden cross structure. Perfect, right? Showing us momentum's on our side. Volume still going up every single bar, okay? Stochastic RSI. I'm going to set an alert on the 2-day 80 line notifying me that the stochastic RSI is entering section A+, and this is the best case scenario that you want your stochastic RSI to be in. Multi-time frame understanding. I go to the 3-day. You can see here the confirmations haven't necessarily happened on this time frame. So when this candle goes up and prints the next one, this is how you're going to catch the move. I am now predicting over the next 22 hours and 22 hours and 32 minutes, the next candle we need to stay above and we print. Then the next 3-day candle that prints, if we break above, if we golden cross, and then we break above the 50, that's when we break the 93.5 and these wicks here, and we head up to the bottom of these wicks here, and like I said before, that 98,000 level. Then you continue, you go to the 4-day, then you go to the 5-day, then you go to the weekly, and then once these longer time frames happen, like the 5-day confirmation, and confirmation, what are they once again? MACD golden cross branches out to where? RSI golden cross or death cross, right? And the next question is where? What section? Above or below the 0, above or below the 50, above or below the 70, above or below the 20, 30. The stochastic RSI, golden cross, death cross, where? And it's just one big matrix. So once the 5-day and the weekly happen, you have major moves for days to the upside. And what that means is once you have your trend to the upside, your little trend starts doing this, higher lows, higher highs. And then once you start coming down, you start making lower highs, lower lows, right? So as of right now, I think the midterm trend over the next, once again, 2 to 3 months, we look bullish. And I'm going to end the video with not this, but I'm going to end the Bitcoin section of it. I want to go over one more coin that I think is going to absolutely pump, and already has, and it is. I do like that on the 3-day it's forming an inverse head and shoulder, right? So low, lower low, higher low. I like on the 2-day, yep, we went over that. And then the 4-day as well is also forming a clearer inverse head and shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Set an alert here. Room to grow. Back to overbought. Once again, section B. Not the best case scenario because it could be rejected from the 11 and 21 and come down, right? But understanding that room back to the 11, which is around 93 to 95,000, and the 21, which lines up with this liquidity level all the way up here, let's just say, right, like 101 to potentially the wicks here of 98. Now you understand that over the next 2 days and 23 hours to the next 4 days thereafter, you could also remain bullish. And what I do think what happens is this. I think we do have a nice move up, but I think we do see rejection and then potentially have the higher leg down, right? And we form a W pattern, right? So we came down, then we go up, we see rejection, we come down, we form a higher low to the 80,000, maybe around here, 88,000, right? I'm choosing this level right here. And then we have the last leg up into February and March, coming back up to these levels here. And then we form that lower high somewhere over here because at that point the 2-month and the 3-month would then be death crossing, breaking down the whole 9. Now, last part of the video. BCH. What are the confirms? Before I even double click on the screen and put the indicators up, what are the confirms? Write them down, please. MACD. Is it in a golden cross structure or a death cross structure? Where? RSI. Is it in a golden cross structure above the moving average or a death cross structure below the moving average? Where? Stochastic RSI. Golden cross or death cross? Where? And then you need to figure out the wheres and if they're in good sections or bad sections, and if you have room to grow where, and what type of structure are the intermediate waves making. Higher lows, lower highs, like I just showed you on Bitcoin, we're still below the moving average, but it's showing on like the 2. Let me just break it down. This is what I mean, right? On this time frame, we're still below the moving average. It was not a golden cross. We're still below the moving average. We're still not in the golden cross, right? But it's forming a bullish structure below. That's what you need to identify to help you identify bottoms and tops. Helping you identify the actual confirmations is what I just told you. Golden cross, death cross, where? Okay, so BCH. Also, what time frame are those confirmations happening on? So if we go to BCH on the weekly, golden cross or death cross on the weekly time frame MACD, and you can see it also confirming here. But on the weekly, it's above the 0 line, showing me that these highs here, the last swing high right here in this wave right here represents these highs here of 647. And once we golden cross and go up, we have a very high probability of breaking that. And when I see this chart, it's like, well, we're going to retest it. Well, let's go into it, right? So golden cross on the MACD, where above the 0 line. Very good. The next couple candles that come in are going to continue making higher highs than the previous ones. So as of right now, this high here was 609. We have 6 days left to continuously go up. RSI just broke above the moving average in section A. So once again, we could come down a little bit, but to continue to the upside, we have a ton of room to grow back to extreme overbought levels in the section that you want to see your RSI to show you that your candles are going to make higher highs each candle, right? This is all we're trying to catch right here. Is this, right? We're trying to catch this right here, right? We're trying to catch this, right? We're trying to catch this, right? We're trying to catch this. We're trying to catch this. We're trying to catch this. In those times, the same confirmations have happened time and time and time and time and time again. Golden cross above, RSI broke above, stochastic above 50. So we are just on the cusp of the next one candle happening. Your stochastic is at 55 and 41, cuzzy. Your RSI is at 59 and 50. Overbought is once again 70. Overbought and where we go, it's extreme parabolic, is above the 80. But from the 50 to the 80 is 324 to 480. Yes, we went from 480 to 640, but I'm trying to help you get in before that actual move happens, right? And then what I would do here is I would open this up like this, right? Go to the good old fib. You go from your high, bring it down to the lows, and now you can see your next fib levels being around, let's just say, the 700. Yeah, I see 716, I see it, but psychologically, 700 is going to be a key level, and the 1.618 is 781. I like it. That's the video. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Any comments, questions, concerns, leave it in the comments section. Besides that, I would appreciate a like, a follow. If you learned something from these videos, share it with somebody that you think would actually learn something. Besides that, I don't know, put BCH. How about that one? And then I would also set an alert. Let's go over it. I would set an alert here, 621, notifying me that we're breaking this major liquidity level here. And then you have room to grow back up to that 685. 685 to 715. That's the video. Love you guys. That is a cool 15 to 20%. Enjoy the day. Love you.